Hi, this is Mia. This is part two. I don't know if I can even go to my appointment. My back is really out. Like, I'm sorry to say, I'm not. Whew, my alarm is gonna go off. I just walked over to where this table was, and I was like broke out in a sweat because of the pain. It feels like something's like pinching my lower back. All right, so the networking. I don't know if anyone said anything bad. Some other people said that I did a great job with some other training that I did during COVID that was telemedicine, where I was a student, and I signed a contract and everything. And so that's how I got some referrals, because I knew someone reputable that gave me like good job, great job. And I kind of shut my mouth with birthing stuff because of the fact that I'm a licensed naturopath, and it's like, I don't talk to people anything. If they hire me as a doula, I'll talk to them like a doula. If someone's hiring me as a student, or if somebody has me as a student, I feel like I need to, or even assistant, make sure that what I say lines up with what the provider says, or their, not necessarily their morals, but the way they do business and the way they do it with their experience or expertise, or the state rules. For instance, if you start IV, they say here you got to do IV, then transfer. So in Oregon, you could do VBACs, you could do breech and twin births, and you start IVs all day, every day, before with antibiotics afterward. Like, I don't even know. But I'm eligible to take the national exam for certified practical midwife, and the people at NARM refused to let me do it. And I found out the truth is that my school was eligible to take NARM certification prior to 2017, when they made it MEEK or the other type of school only. So what I need is a perinatologist, OB-GYN surgeon. Oh shoot, something just fell. I got like a recycling right over there. I hope nothing I needed fell. OB-GYN. I need a certified nurse midwife, and I need, or OB-GYN surgeon in DC. I need OB-GYN, or a certified nurse midwife, and I've lost my train of thought. But I need those for Oregon, or not Oregon, for DC. But if I could do assistant with somebody here, I'm getting phone calls, or emails, can you deliver my baby? I can't. And because the people here are saying, hey, I need a new student, or I need a new assistant, my person left suddenly, and the chaos happened, and they weren't fit for the position. Are you available for an interview? I was like, yeah, I'm available. I hurt my ankle the end of 2022, so I felt like the universe made it fall apart. But these people never call me back, because I'm like trying to hurry up and heal, like rest and heal, so I can drive somewhere in Maryland, anywhere, Virginia, Maryland, DC, so I can drive, city traffic, stop and go highway traffic, rush hour, non-rush hour, cities I've never been in, try to, when I was trying to do Eastern Shore and Delaware births, which is also another place I ended up having, where I was having my partner say, hey, let's get a closest hotel to the person's house. But then the person who I was doing births with was getting sick, and they weren't having the births, or they're having the births at a hospital, or someone else delivered. Like, I was like 3 or 4 weeks has gone past their due date, and I'm trying to text them what's going on, because I have my life on hold. The partner wants to go do stuff, go out in the woods. Oh, I can't, I'll lose signal. Go to the movie theater. Oh, we don't have enough money, because if I had to leave, I'll miss the movie and lose my money. Like, so it's just like these flaky people that say, oh yeah, oh, you're on a list to do call share with some assistants in the Eastern Shore of Maryland. A year or two goes by, I see one of the people, whatever happened to that list? Oh, nobody could keep their promise. You didn't contact me. I'm sitting here waiting. You know, I think that I mentioned a couple times on the Eastern Shore that summertime I said, hey, there's going to be a couple weeks I'm going to be with my kids, which should be very reasonable. Like, if you're going to set something up, I don't want to miss out. If you're setting this up with the other students and you're having meetings and Zoom calls, I still want to be a part of it. It's just that when I get back, it'll be solid for a long time, for months. Get in the car and go. So this is affecting my income because it stressed me out about my clinic. And try to travel to my appointments an hour and a half away. When I worked my job with Queen Anne's County, and I was on call for births, one of the job sites was approximately an hour away from home, which would potentially, like in other parts of Maryland, Delaware, would potentially be 2.5 hours from the birth. And that's when I was doing the births, was juggling the job, keeping my uniform in the car, keeping my change of clothes in the car, my medical equipment was going all over the place. Doing that and seeing patients on the Western Shore of Maryland, being on call, seeing patients, and juggling that job and whatever other job I had at the time. So I'm a willing participant. I suited up, I showed up. Bag packed, snack packed, shoes on, at the door with the keys. So it's on you if you tell me don't come out there. I said, if it makes you uncomfortable and you're not really sure because you're not leaving your house yet, it takes me an hour and a half. There's a snowstorm outside. Give me the opportunity to sit in the street in my car. So I'm not driving back and forth in the snowstorm during rush hour on these tiny streets that if one issue happens, you're stuck. There's no back roads. A lot of places where I am, there's no back roads. There's one artery in. There's boats. If you have a boat or the ferry, in the middle of winter, the ferry's not been open. That's not even 24/7. It's the option in some places, but I want to talk a little bit about notary. But I want to talk about it's a snowstorm. I have other jobs. Call me. I really appreciate the physicians, naturopathic physicians in Oregon that would call and say, hey, this person's feeling this way. Go to prenatals. Hey, this person's 2 centimeters. This is just an example. Try to just throw examples to keep everything protected. But birth is a birth is a birth, guys. Come on. All the stuff I learned as naturopathic physicians, like, oh, well, what do they sound like on the phone? The text doesn't really tell. As a first time, second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time parent, like, getting a text throughout the week, this person is feeling crampy, but only after they take a walk. That to me tells me, get my bags ready, get my food for my kids in the fridge, go get their sandwiches and pizzas and stuff from the Winco store. Make some sandwiches, make some pasta or something, and so they have leftover. Get all that ready. Make sure the animals have food. Like whole bags so that we don't run out, because I could be gone for 72 hours or whatever. That's before people were doing Instacart and all that. But that's expensive anyway. Go to Winco, go to pet store, get this stuff. They were both in the same shopping complex. Oh, I see them in prenatals too. And the home visit, 36 weeks. So if they had group preceptor or not. See what's going on with their other labs. What other things are they doing? Thyroid medication. I'd have a lot of information sometime prior to the 40 weeks as a student. And I appreciate those little texts like, oh yeah, you weren't able to come to the meeting today, this is what happened, blah blah blah, this is what the heart did, blah blah blah. Like a little text. I mean, it's not like they wouldn't necessarily give all their personal information, like, you missed this appointment, this person might be going soon. What's the basis of it? So they weren't sharing their personal health information through the text. So they're saying, this is their information, or they can go into the next prenatal. Such and such I saw today. Here's their chart. Okay. This person might be going tonight, later, earlier, sooner. Go to sleep now. Take a nap now. 8 p.m. I would have gone to bed. Phone rings. This is the physician calling you to tell you to go to sleep. I was like, I didn't say I was asleep, you woke me up. But I loved that. At the time it was annoying, but I loved it because I never saw it on the East Coast. So there was so much more anxiety. And not even knowing the address until it was time to go. So I can't even like look at the, like, even it doesn't even if they are saying, oh, maybe I don't want this person to come to the birth, maybe I changed my mind because I have someone else that could go to the birth instead. At least the town, the name of the town, so that I can just think about traffic and this and that. And yeah, we should get up and go. Sometimes they say, hey, we're not going to need you until 3 a.m. and right now it's 10 p.m. Okay, but if you're thinking 3 a.m. now, I need to know, is there construction on the bridge and a detour that's taking me 45 minutes out of my way? Do I know what the weather is? The weather might be completely different out there than here because of the bay and the winds blowing this way and that way. Anyways, I'm just complaining now. I just think back on times that were such a struggle, but the stress level was nowhere near where it is now. It was still a different kind of stress and a really high stress situation. But then you're like, dang, those people do a good job. Because you don't have anything to compare it with. Okay, I can't compare it to hospital births. Because there's a whole nother arena there. But it's like, we went to birth assistants and certified practical midwife or licensed midwife in Oregon. So more CPM, direct entry midwives, different people went to birthing way school, Portland, Oregon, mostly graduated, did their clinicals or whatever outside of in people's houses and birth centers and passed their NARM exam and then continued to work Washington, Oregon. I saw a high level of professionalism. The school closed down. So these places people are doing and these processes were being trained somebody, or a process where somebody that has a similar credential as me didn't do any in-person visits prenatally. I was like, gosh, even as a doula, as a non-medical person, I'm gonna do some prenatals in person, like if I can. But I'm not even on the medical team. But with COVID and with different things, it's like to change it up. But I would try to. I mean, non-medical person, so it's not someone taking your vitals or putting their hands on your belly, measuring the fundal height, like not even taking your blood pressure, temperature, group B, strep. So I wonder if that person put a bad taste in the mouth for someone with my similar credentials, even though that person didn't go through a graduate medical school program like I did. And they didn't get trained by a bunch of midwives, call them midwives, but physicians that did the same training that I did, which took me 6 years of graduate school because it was on top of my midwifery or my naturopathic physician degree. So all the anatomy, physiology, laboratory sciences, all the genetics, pharmacology, pathology, all those classes, cardiology, all of those classes, like gynecology, of course, pediatrics, all those classes were like, even childbirth 1 taught you everything you need to know about birth. 12-week class. boom. But it was for all naturopaths. In my school, we all had to take it. Because we need to know physiologic birth, what is going on prenatally, what is going on nutrition, how to deliver the baby, how to deliver the baby safely, how to deliver the baby safely. I saw somebody as a doula that was doing the talking to someone how to do such and such at a birth that they didn't make it to the hospital, and my mind is like, as a trained physician and professional, licensed and trained is good. You don't have to be licensed to know, but I'm also licensed. I saw some errors. I saw some red flags that it's not my job. Like, the jurisdiction here, try to look at the rules. I need to keep my side of the street clean. So I don't know. Maybe the people said, let's just go home. But did they not have a midwife, nurse midwife, or a obstetrician to follow that up on that, which would include some things that would need some more sterile procedures, some more, there's a lot. There's people bragging about this stuff, and I'm just like, the more you know what not to do. Unless you're a trained professional, and you do, if someone's going to go in to get baby exam, newborn exam, then let them do the medical stuff with that provider, whether it be at home, at birth center, or clinic, pediatrician. In my mind, I don't know. I don't feel like it's the job of a doula to do anything medical. If they need encouragement, say, you called me first, let's call your midwife as well. Because you need to let your primary medical provider know what's going on. Even though I'm friendly, So I separate my naturopathic physician in some states, naturopathic doctor in this state, naturopathic midwife or obstetrician in these other states, doula, which I have to separate out. My doula package is a package, and I forget that postpartum is a separate package, so I need to actually write up. Actually, I have my forms written up. I just gotta make sure to follow them. But I network with a bunch of people. I contacted a bunch of people, and then I've networked with these people, and then they dropped the ball, and then I've met some of these people in person, and they dropped the ball again. Like, how many times are you gonna... Insanity. Do the same thing, expecting different results. Is it gonna be the fourth time's a charm? Red flags everywhere. These people are doing well, and they're setting up people that they want to set up to do well with them. Until you see me hands-on, and you talk to me without your kid screaming in the background, or without you driving and racing to your doctor's appointment, and you're focusing on the red lights, like, until you could sit down with me, and just the fact that I'm neurodivergent and have different social skills than other people, you sit me down, you watch me, even if we do a mock birth, you ask me, what would I do next? What would I do? How would I set up the birth room? That's second nature to me. And I don't want to lose that ability to know how to do that. So that's why I got my Vermont. Well, I got it while I could, because I had all the qualifications. I have... there's a lot. There's Washington, D.C., Washington State I gotta do. One for naturopathic and one for licensed midwife. So, fingers crossed. That's why I'm studying for the NARM exam, and it's break. There's a group of people that know my situation, but they buddy and help each other, and they help people, and they brag about their experiences. To each their own, guys. what I want to do is a mutual beneficial relationship with the healthcare provider that I can not feel like I'm being used, exploited, or neglected. Like, oh yeah, you're gonna come to the next one. We got 3 next week. Are you ready to be on call? Yes, I'm ready. Not scheduling my out of town appointments, not scheduling my house calls that are 2 hours away, and then finding out that on Facebook somebody's saying got a group picture with them and somebody else and a baby. I was like, I was supposed to be there. You can't do that to me. And it'd be another thing if someone pulled me aside and say, hey, the way you work is not right for me. But they come pull your aside and say, oh my god, you do such an excellent job. Do they think I'm trying to like look better than them during the birth? No, I'm trying to be a professional. These are people's lives that are in your hand. When you get that license, first do no harm. And I'm not gonna be stepping on your toes. But if you tell me to go get the equipment ready for such and such out of your bag, I'm gonna go do it. Like when I was a student 10 years ago, 11 years ago, I had a list that they gave me. So you could double check the list, which you should do anyway, because at 2 a.m. after you just went to a baseball game and you're tired and this and that, double checking stuff. You know, we heard in class, training, formal class, one of the teachers had gone to a birth with their student, and I think, was it a 2-story house? They had resuscitation, and you could say the student was supposed to set up the bag and mask, and it's either the student was supposed to do it, but if you're ultimately the provider, you need to set that up. And I don't know if it was fast and it was left in the car, but wherever it is where the birth happened, it wasn't there, and they didn't have time to go look for it. And so she had to do mouth to mouth on a newborn baby, which could have blood and other fluid, obviously definitely other fluids besides blood, to risk herself and risk the baby any germs that the midwife, the naturopath physician midwife had. But to save the baby's life with that resuscitation, I've seen a lot of resuscitations at hospital births. We have the stuff, we deal with it, then we hand the baby off, and then we start the postpartum stuff, the immediate postpartum stuff. Like, the only time, there's a time I didn't, that was a premature and they were doing something. Their respiratory system was kind of like not mature yet, so that was like the one time like there was no resus, but there was signs later on that I noticed, because I had to go in and do preliminary exams as a student. So I had to mention something, and then it became closely monitored till we transferred. And we had I think sometimes I would mix and match with who was the lead physician, because I was readily available. I make myself readily available. Even my back was out. Hey, I have a back brace, which I'll probably have to put on. This is someone was going to miss a family member event. They said, the person I usually shout out said, hey, when you do midwifery or naturopathic obstetrics, those things are not prioritized when you have to deal with your patients. It's patients, at least 2 people, right? So I really appreciate my education in that 2 to 3 year time. I still do I just did a peer review with the same group of people through Zoom, and sometimes they have in-person events. I feel like I miss them by a week when I go back. I told myself, I told someone, hey, I had some offers to people to do birth. I don't know if I said Pennsylvania, what the rules are. And this person assumed that I was going to go deliver babies in a state where I wasn't licensed because there was no licensing. I was like, what I meant to say was I've had some offers in places where the CPM credential is either new or pending, or I don't know what it is for sure. Because some places like, hey, if you have the training, you go ahead and register. Like naturopath, there's pre-licensed state, unlicensed state, and licensed states. And states where you register. Hey, you can do this whole list of thing with the registration. That's totally legal. That's totally legal. You do what's in your scope. You know. And so I was saying that I had some offers to go out of state, and they were trying to accuse me. They're like, you can't do that. You can't just think you can get to go to a different state. It's like, my point was, I want to work as an assistant and or a student under a licensed practitioner. A, I want my stuff to count. B, I want to see that they have that. If there's somebody who's an old-fashioned medicine woman who does this and that, and their state says that that's okay, then that's a whole nother story. But I am a person that likes to work only in licensed states. And you got to come to me if you live in, for me as a naturopath. So I wanted to stay in the boundary line. So they're trying to accuse me of going to try to deliver babies all across the place. Like, I'm not trying to learn how to deliver babies. I can go out of the state and deliver babies where I'm in the lead. I gotta go turn that off. Let's see if I can stand up. I just rather not have to go get an Airbnb or something. Like, I want to do it where I am located. And then when I'm located in those other jurisdictions, I attend the births there. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I might hear my clinic set up here, you know, but I talked to someone about going to another state, and I would have had to get housing. I even said I'm available to go to Hawaii, and the only question I asked, I was like, yeah, I have some way that I can rent a place, but they said you need a car. I was like, wait, did you say there's a car provided, or that you need a car? Like, I can rent a car. It's like for a month, and they're going to pay you accordingly. I think I asked what the pay was, and I verified, like, do you have a car for us to borrow, or can you give the people, the assistant, a ride? And like, this person just blew me off. And I thought it would be, my partner's interested in going back to Hawaii, and getting some rainforest land and all that. I call it rainforest land. That's in my mind. But I see Fully Raw Christina growing her food and stuff out there, and breathing in the fresh air and all. There's some kind of crazy spiders she talked about in one of her videos. But I was like, hey, I could go out there for 3 to 6 weeks and mutually beneficial relationship with somebody as a professional that's already credentialed, working under their license in a place that I'm not credentialed, which is allowed. I said, like, here you just need neonatal resuscitation, and for assistant, and for student they have a PEP process where you just do preceptor. So that's, you know, that's a whole nother thing, and you're not going to do that on your own. You're not going to deliver a baby on your own. In Oregon, we had all of our assistants, where I shadowed, they were all licensed midwives or obstetricians. In case something happened where they needed to deliver the baby, because we've had that where there was a birth. To end this networking video for now, since my alarm's already gone off and I gotta figure out how I'm gonna be able to walk to the shower and get my tea and all that. I'm just really sore and I gotta deal with my teeth. There's an event coming up at the end of the month. What is it? Yeah, so about 2 weeks that I'd have to drive 2 hours to get to on a Saturday, and I'm considering going. But again, sometimes 3 times the charm, but I feel like 4, 5, 6 times take the hint. I think there's a certain, whether it's in a BIPOC population or non-BIPOC population, I think there's ageism and education or license typeism. Oh, I'm not popular. Oh, I'm not at all the events. Oh, I don't have long hair. Oh, I'm not like, oh, I just went to 16 births this week and I got paid a whole bunch of money and my house is bigger than yours. I don't have that kind of attitude or that kind of story. But even I cut my fingernails. I gotta cut them again, but I cut them so I could be more. So just do telehealth. Ooh, I don't need short nails for telehealth, but yeah, to be more available and to be able to play the guitar. Over here, it's waiting for me. I put it in my calendar. They said there's a few spots left. It's in the evening, which I find kind of whack. I was like, maybe, you know what I should do? I should schedule I got some appointments that I need to do. It's on the weekend too. It just sounds like I wouldn't get home to like 10. I think, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sign up for it, and then if I have to cancel, I'll cancel it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be insane. I haven't met any of these people in person, and let's see if when's Labor Day. Ooh, that's Labor Day weekend. That doesn't sit well in my mind, but what do you guys think? Comment down below, please. I'm gonna check in. I'm gonna pray and meditate about it. What I think I'm gonna do is go ahead and sign up, and then I can always I think it's free. If it's not, I don't know. I don't want to be traveling back and forth. But this might be the way to get a position. Because it's like, where I'd go would be, what, about 1.5, 2 hours? I don't even know. When people say DMV, you're like, I don't know where it's going to be. Washington, D.C., Baltimore, somewhere in Virginia. There was actually interviews, in-person interviews somewhere in Virginia a few weeks ago, and I missed it. And I should have contacted the person and be like, where and when is that? Can I get your information? And I would have gone. Because if I could travel across Portland and go into Washington State and travel down to Salem, Oregon during rush hour and all this stuff to go to births, and it takes me an hour and a half. It took me like an hour and 45 minutes to get to someone's house for prenatal ones. And I was late. And probably should have left later. I don't know, because I left during rush hour, tried to make sure. Anyways, that was a bad decision. Traffic sometimes gets worse, but if I can drive an hour and 45 minutes, a lot of people don't deliver the baby. Some people do. Oh shoot, baby was just born, but you're still on your way, right? So it's your first time. I think the shortest I've seen is like 6 hours, with like 2 hours of pushing. Not everybody's like that. So 6 hours later, 5 hours later, am I still sitting in bed, laying in bed, like, I'm not trying to be like, hey, I'm a precipitous birth. I'm not trying to be careless and not show up. But I've also offered to do births. Somebody said that you have to live within 10 miles of this birth center. I don't know what it is. Alright, okay, let me jump, because I'm running out of time. Yeah, I don't live that far, but I went to this one place and I got lost on the freeway, and it took like 2 hours to get there, but I think it would have took an hour and a half to get to the place. But they do births as close as 45 minutes from where I am, so I could have attended births there. The problem with these people, if you don't want me there because I live far, that's fine, but I also work. right down the street. And we've also looked for housing, apartment, so that I could be close to work and do some work and not have to like commute maybe once or twice a month, stay in the apartment for a few days. If I was going to do a birth, then I could stay in the apartment for 2, 3, 4 weeks around somebody's birth. But people don't understand that about me. And I had the funds to do that. And doing assistant would give me the funds to maintain that. But not getting... and that would also maintain me going to my office more often. Like on a daily basis, literally. I could get a membership to the building and be there 24/7. If I was able to not have to travel. So people don't know that. Same thing about DC. Same scenario. Vermont. I already got the places, and the 2 other places I don't have a place in DC, Vermont, or Washington State. And I have a place to stay in the other 2 states that were paying rent. So people don't understand my eccentric way of doing business. I do sales. I do a lot of stuff. I probably have to put my sales on hold though. So after saying that, I'm going to end this video talking about networking. Should I do it? I mean, I might get on here right now and it might be full already. So that could be fate decided for me. But I just realized it was Labor Day weekend. Like, ooh, I don't want to be traveling back and forth between different states. But I woke up this morning angry that I've been blacklisted. Again, I wonder if some of it has to do with someone with a similar license as me, but they completely different training and completely different credential path than that I have. Especially when I'm doing perinatology and went to a different medical school than this person did. I really appreciate, even despite the racism that I dealt with, I really appreciate the professionalism and the knowledge that I learned from my school. Is very in-depth. In fact, it's so overwhelming that I second guess myself, and so that I'm not just jumping to stuff, because I want to double check. I want to be very thorough. I gotta put my white coat on, put my stethoscope around my neck, and go do my work. And forget about these people, because I'm worrying about them. Why don't you like me? Why? You heard my story. How come you're inviting certain people? Oh, it's because they are younger and have long hair? Why are you inviting certain people? Brand new, fresh out of school, or don't have experience. You're inviting them to come work with you, preceptor, and be a student with you. But when I say I need it, they're like, oh, good luck with that. Am I ready to do births now? Do I want to do my clinic, take care of my health, and not be on call all the time for somebody else? I had a realization to remind myself, when you, who are a certified and licensed birth worker and a physician, you have to work your schedule. Since you're not doing primary care, this state doesn't allow me to do primary care, so I'm not needing to be there 24/7 like I was when I was in Oregon. I had to be there 24/7 for my patients, literally. And if you work under somebody else as assistant, and they pull those games where they don't call you to the birth, they don't let you come to the birth until, oh, sorry, the head already came out and we've already called 911 and you're a bad assistant. Well, you made it clear. I can go back and see your text. Do not leave your home until I tell you to. Oh, but I think... And then you're going to blame it on me when I could have told you the way that your patient is having symptoms is, to me, is birth is imminent. Is that the word? I don't even know if that's the right word. But when I work for myself, I could say I'm going to do 3 births a year. I know someone that's a midwife. I don't even know if they're licensed. And they teach midwifery and do the trainings all around the world. So they go to all the events as the wise midwife. I was like, I heard them say once that they go to a maximum of 1 birth a year. That's on them. That's up to them. But they are a guru in the field. So I'm like, you know, but what I think is I need to hone in on my own professionalism and my own disabilities and make it work for me first, and then open up and let the patients and clients come to me, because this is set up in more than one way for birthing. Not for birthing, for naturopathic, sorry. So reset up my list, get the medical supplies I can use as a naturopath right now, get that all set up. Get a box, put the doula stuff in that box, so when you get called to doula birth, you can just go, even if you walk to the hospital. It's right up here. Get this stuff on the list send it to Homestead One, the birthing stuff. I have a bag and mask here. I was trying to carry it back and forth on the airplane. Get a second set for there. Get all of the medications. Share a medication with somebody, or get a list. Say, hey, when I come to town, I'm going to have these products. Can I come purchase from your office when I get there? And then I'm going to hold on in my office. So there's shortage on Rogaine. There's shortage on sometimes a shortage on lidocaine, stuff like that. You don't want to wait. You say, hey, you want to dually manage this patient? I'm going to be there during their due date for a month. They could go on a time that I'm not there, or my flight could change. So you dually co-care as the lead for this patient, and I'll be there for that, and some postpartums and prenatals from other people that I could share with this person, with reliable backup, which you need anyways. I could live in an apartment complex and a birthing person could be right under me. Someone could get COVID, break my leg, get stuck on the bridge, So I have to set myself up, and I think that's where my problem is that I want to spew out to everybody that I am a valuable asset to your team, but I don't take care of my own self first. So I come across as being super winded, long-winded, and exhausted and overwhelmed, because I'm desperate, like trying to find a date. If you got the look and the body, you don't have to, you can snap your fingers and you'll have a choice of people to date. But somebody who is not the beauty queen of the year, the Barbie, the black Barbie, if you are looked at, colorism, hairstyle, that is a real thing in the black community. You see my hair all crazy like this, gray. They're gonna look at me and say, if she's so skilled in this and that, why is she struggling? Why is she living in an attic? If she's doing such a good job, why does she spend 5 years trying to get a position? Well, I've had a position on and off, but they went and got somebody younger and somebody uneducated. Because do they have like an ego trip that they're thinking that this physician is gonna look better than them? Because people will taunt me in front of patients. So why would I want to be somewhere where their client is gonna get a bad taste in their mouth about me because somebody is being abusive to me? Like, don't even entertain that. I'm gonna go and do a quick notary video.